We welcome to the studio Iowa bankruptcy attorney Mike Jankins is here. Last week we talked a little bit about how you can protect your tax refund in cases of bankruptcy, and now this morning we're going to talk about other ways.
Well, yeah, last week we talked about how each person, if they're working, could protect $1,000 of their tax refund money if they're going to be filing bankruptcy and they're waiting for their tax refund after they filed. And this week we're going to talk about how you can protect more money than just the $1,000 a piece. So, if I keep coming back each time, I will keep raising it and raising it.
All right, so there is.
Wait a minute, you're holding out on it.
So you can keep more than just $1,000 then.
Yes, there are other provisions of the law that allow you to protect certain types of property. And one of those, we call it a wild card protection. You can apply $1,000 of value to anything you want that isn't already protected, or you can increase by $1,000 something that's protected up to a limit. So with the tax refund, the limit's $1,000, so we can use this other $1,000 and now make it $2,000. Okay. And so if we've got working spouses, then they can protect up to $4,000 of tax refund money if they haven't received it yet before they filed their bankruptcy. Okay. So for those people that file their case in January, but they file their taxes in February or March, and they're sort of waiting on it, those are the people that will have to be most concerned about the amount of the tax refund, because it's not been received and spent before the filing. If it's already spent before filing, it's not an asset, it's nothing, it's gone. Just like your paycheck, once it's spent, it's gone. Mm-hmm. So it's of really no concern any further to the bankruptcy court. Okay. Planning is very important when people come in, especially when we're getting ready to file their case. We should already have their last year's tax return. And it's a good idea for everybody that's getting ready to file for bankruptcy to speak to their attorney. If the attorney doesn't bring up the subject, well, then you should. Ask your attorney, am I going to be able to keep my entire tax refund this year? And the attorney should have some answers for you. You should have already provided, as preparation of your case, 2014's tax returns. If everything else is about the same jobs, your number of children's the same, no newborns during this tax year, no child has reached 17 where your $1,000 tax credit drops off for the one child, everything's going to be about the same, you should be able to look at last year's, and that'll be a good predictor. If it was really big, sometimes it's important to wait. Instead of filing bankruptcy in January because we know maybe you're getting $6,000 or $7,000 back, probably should change your withholdings in the future because you're taking out way too much in taxes that you don't need to. Mm-hmm. Right. The extra $300 or $350 or $400 a month would come in handy for people that are living very close to the edge anyway and pay a few bills each month. So it's important to know these things, and a lot of these things can be figured out before filing. For many people, it doesn't make a difference if you have, if you're going to file in January or wait till the end of February when you get your refund. The refunds come pretty quickly once you can file them, and most people will have already had their W-2s by the beginning of February, and they get into their tax preparer. If you don't wait, and some people just, I got to file, I just can't take it anymore.
Get it done, yeah.
I just can't take it anymore. It just doesn't make sense to forfeit $1,000 or $1,500. I mean, that's money that could have been yours. And so,
and unless you have somebody that understands that, somebody else could just let you do that, just to say, okay, be done with it, but you know that.
Right, if someone just doesn't take the time or just doesn't really care to discuss the issues and is more in a hurry just to get things done rather than making sure everybody is getting the most protection they can and preserving as much money as they can, because tax refund season for many people is a big deal. People plan for that money halfway through the year going, when I get this money, I'm going to be doing A, B, and C with it. Well, C and B might go away if you don't do things right. And so, there's some times where there's other things that get in the way of being able to plan when you're going to file your case. An example would be, we've got clients that come in and their wages are being garnished, and so you have to kind of make a judgment call. Do I keep letting my wages being garnished? I can't pay my rent. or do we just give up some tax refund money and just let it go so I can have my wages stop being garnished?
If you do mess up, where does that $1,000 go if it doesn't go to you and you've not taken your advice?
Well, if there isn't the best of planning, then the money that comes in and gets given to the bankruptcy court gets divided up to the creditors. Now, this tax refund money, if it's the only money, isn't going to get any of these creditors a whole bunch of money.
Right.
You know, it could be $10, $15 a piece or $100, and it's just part of the process. But it goes to the creditors. So I'd rather have it in my client's pocket than the creditors, and to the extent that we can predict these things and plan for them, we try to, and ultimately we let our clients decide, you know, do you want to wait or do you want to just go ahead and file your case? And sometimes, if the money's not way over $400 or $500 and there's no other money that the trustee is going to be getting, they are often going to just let the person keep the extra money even though it's above the limit, just because it's not enough money to do all the work it takes to
go after it.
To have the money account for it and do a lot of administration. So, and that's a judgment call by the trustee of the case.
All things to think about as we
need
head
somebody,
into tax season.
Yeah,
So
you need somebody who understands this to make sure you get as much as you possibly can, and that's why we suggest you get a hold of Mike here. Again, get a hold of him, iowa-bankruptcylaw.com or 255-1855 for more information. Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Nice holiday.